Have you ever stopped to think about what truly distinguishes someone who builds, significant wealth? We're not really talking about overnight successes or just lucky breaks here.
That's right. I mean, the stories that often grab headlines can sometimes hide the less glamorous reality, can't they? The day in, day out stuff.
Exactly. So today we're taking a deep dive into something much more fundamental, the actual daily habits of millionaires. We've kind of sifted through a range of, well, fascinating material looking for those common threads.
Yeah, and what our sources consistently point to is that it's not really about winning the lottery, is it? It's about a deliberate, consistent approach to life every single day.
These habits, they might seem simple on the surface, but wow, they're incredibly potent when you practice them over time.
Absolutely. So our mission, you could say, in this deep dive is to really get under the skin of these key habits. What are they exactly?
And maybe more importantly, how can you, listening right now, start to integrate these principles into your own day to day? We want to go beyond just knowing what they do.
To understanding how they do it
Yeah.
and what the impact really is.
Right. We've identified a pretty compelling set of these habits. Covers everything, really. Their approach to knowledge, how they structure their time, build networks.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
The goal is to give you some genuine insights and, most importantly, actionable steps you can actually take away.
Okay, let's dive right into the first one. This really stood out to me. The intense focus on learning. Our sources paint this picture of millionaires having this almost relentless curiosity.
Yeah, an insatiable thirst for knowledge, you could call it. And what's really interesting is how they prioritize it.
How
Well,
so?
think about it. How many of us, after a long day, just kind of default to passive entertainment? TV, scrolling social media.
Guilty as charged sometimes.
Right. But millionaires, generally speaking, seem to treat learning as an active pursuit. It's like a crucial investment in their future.
Right.
There was even one study we looked at.
Oh, yeah.
It showed a really strong link between the amount of nonfiction reading people did and their net worth over time.
Wow. And it's such a diverse range of learning activities too, isn't it? Not just formal school stuff.
Not at all. We're seeing things like consistently reading books,
Yeah.
actual books, engaging with insightful podcasts, like this one, hopefully,
We try?
attending industry webinars, seminars, even just dedicating time to learn totally new skills.
That often cited example of Warren Buffett spending, what, like 80% of his day reading, that really hammers it home.
It really does. It shows the incredible value they place on it. It's not seen as a chore, it's vital.
So what does this mean for you listening? The big takeaway here is, well, you got to deliberately schedule time for learning.
Make time for it.
Exactly. Our sources suggest aiming for, say, at least 30 minutes each day. Focus on something that will genuinely boost your knowledge. Could be your field, a new interest, business skills.
The key is making learning a non-negotiable part of your daily routine, like brushing your teeth.
It's about that consistent drip feed of knowledge, isn't it? Not just cramming it in now and then.
Exactly. Think of it like compounding interest, but for your brain.
Love that. All right, let's move on. Another crucial habit. Setting crystal clear goals. And this is important, actually writing them down.
Yes. This really speaks to being proactive about your future, doesn't it?
Totally. They don't just hope for success, they define it in really specific terms.
Whether that's financial milestones, personal achievements, professional targets, they spell it out. And the act of physically writing those goals down seems to be a powerful catalyst.
It sounds like much more than just a to-do list. Our material highlighted research suggesting you're significantly more likely, like over 40% more likely, according to some figures, to achieve a goal just by writing it down.
That's a huge difference.
It is. Why do you think that is? What's the magic there?
Well, what's fascinating is that writing it down makes the goal more tangible, more real.
Yeah.
It takes it from being a vague wish to a concrete commitment.
Okay.
And it's not just about the goal itself. It's then breaking it down into actionable steps. The specific tasks, the timelines needed to actually make it happen.
Got it. So the actionable insight here is take the time, really define your short-term and long-term goals in detail, and then commit them to paper or, digital doc, whatever works.
And then the habit to build is revisiting those goals every single day.
Every day.
Every day. Keep them front of mind. Make sure your actions are actually aligned with where you want to go. That daily review acts like a compass.
Constantly pointing you towards your destination. Makes sense.
Exactly. Helps you make decisions that support those goals, not undermine them.
Okay, next up. A habit that often sparks a lot of discussion. The early wake-up call. The whole 5 a.m. club idea.
Ah, yes. That seems to be a recurring theme among high achievers, doesn't it?
It really does. What's so compelling about it? Is it just about having more hours?
I think it's more about the quality of those hours. It's
Oh,
about reclaiming that early morning time before the emails start pinging, before the meetings, before the general noise of the day kicks in.
you get that quiet, uninterrupted time.
Precisely. Time you can dedicate just to yourself.
It's like creating a little buffer zone for your mind, a chance to plan your day strategically, maybe exercise, meditate, do some focused thinking.
Before the external demands start pulling you in different directions, it's about being proactive from the moment you wake up, not reactive, taking control.
Okay, so the actionable step here isn't necessarily forcing yourself into the 5 a.m. club overnight, right? That sounds painful.
No, probably not sustainable for most. It's more about gradually shifting your wake-up time earlier, maybe just by an hour to start.
An hour sounds manageable.
And then intentionally use that extra time for what we could call self-investment, things that help you grow physically, mentally, professionally, deep work even.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about a really key aspect of the wealth creation itself, building multiple streams of income.
Oh, this is a big one. Our sources consistently show that millionaires very rarely rely on just one single source of money.
That seems significant. Why is that so important?
Well, think about it. Having diverse income streams, it doesn't just speed up building wealth. It also provides a crucial safety net.
Ah, security.
Yeah, if one income source takes a hit, maybe your industry has a downturn, or you lose a client, the others can help cushion the blow, provide stability.
And the ways they generate these multiple streams are so varied, aren't they? It's not just one thing.
Absolutely. Everything from investing in the stock market, real estate,
Right.
to developing side businesses that maybe leverage their skills or even a passion.
Side hustles.
Exactly. Or even creating passive income through things like digital products, online courses, royalties from creative work, stuff like that.
So the actionable advice here is to start thinking beyond just your main salary or your primary business income.
Look around. Explore potential ways to generate extra income. Could be starting a small side project using your expertise.
Or learning about different investment strategies, ones that fit your comfort level with risk, obviously.
Right. Or just identifying opportunities to create income that isn't directly tied hour for hour to your time.
Okay, this feels like it leads naturally into what seems like the absolute linchpin habit, the one that underpins so many others. Mastering self-discipline.
You nailed it. It's often described exactly like that, the critical bridge between having goals and actually achieving them.
Without it, the best plans just stay plans, right?
Pretty much. Self-discipline is about consistently making choices that align with your long-term objectives. Even when, maybe especially when, those choices mean saying no to immediate gratification or comfort.
Doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it.
That's the core of it.
And we see this play out in so many ways, don't we? It's the discipline to, say, save and invest instead of splurging on the latest gadget.
Or the commitment to put in the extra work on a project when you'd rather just, relax.
Or just the ability to stay focused on a really challenging task despite all the notifications and distractions vying for your attention.
Exactly. So, the actionable step. You have to actively cultivate your self-discipline muscle.
Like working out.
Kind of, yeah. Through consistent, small wins. Maybe commit to one daily habit exercise, writing for 15 minutes, meditating, and just stick to it. Especially on the days it feels hard.
Build that mental resilience through repetition.
That's the idea.
Okay. Now let's shift focus a bit to the powerful influence of our social environment. Habit number 6 highlights this conscious effort millionaires make to surround themselves with other winners, so to speak.
Driven, successful individuals. There's that famous quote our sources often bring up. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Right. Heard that one.
It really underscores the huge impact our peer group can have on our mindset, our ambitions, what we see as possible.
And millionaires seem to get this instinctively. They're deliberate about who they let into their inner circle.
It's not about being snobby or exclusive, is it? It's about being intentional.
Right. So actively seeking out mentors, people who've already walked the path you want to walk.
Exactly. Connecting with peer groups where people are also ambitious, growth-oriented, nurturing relationships with individuals who genuinely inspire you, who challenge you to level up.
This requires taking a maybe sometimes uncomfortable look at your current network, doesn't it?
It does. Are the people you spend the most time with lifting you up, encouraging your growth, pushing you forward, or not?
So the actionable takeaway is audit your inner circle. and consciously make an effort to spend more time with people who are positive, driven, and embody the qualities you admire.
Yeah, find your tribe, as they say.
Okay, moving towards the end here. Let's talk about risk. Habit number 7.
Taking calculated risks. Crucial clarification there, calculated, not reckless.
Very important distinction. This isn't about reckless gambling or just jumping into things impulsively.
So they're not necessarily risk-averse?
Not usually, no, but they're definitely not reckless. Their approach to risk is strategic. It's informed.
How does that work in practice? They meticulously gather information first. They carefully analyze the potential downsides, the potential upsides. They weigh the probabilities. And then they make a calculated decision if they spot an opportunity that aligns with their bigger goals.
So it's about recognizing that significant growth often means stepping outside your comfort zone,
Definitely.
but doing it thoughtfully after you've done your homework, not just acting on a whim.
It's the difference between, say, jumping off a cliff blindly versus carefully assessing the terrain, checking your gear, and making a calculated leap.
Good analogy. So the actionable advice here is to develop your ability to evaluate opportunities thoroughly.
Yes, do your due diligence, but also, and this is key, work on overcoming that fear of failure that can paralyze you. That can lead to inaction.
Because sometimes the biggest risk is doing nothing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sometimes the biggest risk is not taking that calculated bet on yourself when the odds seem reasonably in your favor.
Makes sense. Okay, finally, habit number 8. And this feels like it ties back to mindset in a big way. Practicing gratitude and positive thinking.
It might sound a bit soft compared to income streams and risk, but it appears to be a surprisingly powerful driver of success.
Really? How so?
Well, what's remarkable is how consistently this theme comes up in our sources. Cultivating gratitude. It fundamentally shifts your focus away from what you might lack towards appreciating what you already have.
Creates a feeling of abundance rather than scarcity.
Precisely. And that mindset of abundance can be incredibly motivating. It can actually open you up to seeing new opportunities you might have missed otherwise.
And the positive thinking part, it's not about ignoring problems, is it?
Not at all. It's about approaching challenges with a core belief in your ability to figure things out, to overcome them. It fosters creativity, resilience, grit.
Our sources indicate that many millionaires actually build a daily gratitude practice into their routines. It's not just a random feeling.
It's a deliberate act, acknowledging the good things, big or small, both what they have now and, interestingly, also future opportunities they're working towards.
So how could someone listening do that? What's the practical step?
It could be incredibly simple, like taking just a few moments each morning, maybe list 3 things you're genuinely grateful for, and then maybe set a positive intention for the day ahead.
That sounds doable.
It's a small habit, but practice consistently over time. It can have a really profound impact on your overall outlook, your mood, and your ability to just keep going when things get tough.
So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into these daily habits, it becomes really clear, doesn't it? Building significant wealth isn't some mysterious, unattainable thing.
Not at all. It seems to be largely the result of consistently making intentional choices. How you approach your day, every single day.
We've covered a lot. Prioritizing continuous learning.
Setting and tracking clear goals diligently.
Leveraging the power of an early start.
Developing multiple income streams for security and growth.
Mastering that crucial skill of self-discipline.
Strategically surrounding yourself with high-achieving, positive people.
Taking calculated risks when opportunities look good.
And cultivating that underlying mindset of gratitude and positivity.
And what's really empowering, I think, is that these aren't like innate talents you're born with.
Absolutely not. These are all learned behaviors, habits. Anyone can choose to adopt them and integrate them, regardless of where you're starting from.
Our sources really emphasize that it's about starting small, right? Don't try to do everything at once.
Exactly. Pick one. Pick one habit from this list that really resonates with you right now. Commit to practicing just that one thing, daily.
Then once it feels natural, maybe add another.
That's the way. It's not about an overnight transformation. It's a gradual, steady evolution, fueled by consciously adopting these key habits.
Achieving significant financial success, it seems, isn't just a far-off dream. It's more like a well-laid plan, built one consistent habit at a time.
Which brings us to maybe the most important point for you listening right now. Out of all these habits we've talked about today, which one feels like it could make the biggest difference for you right now?
And maybe even more pointedly, what is one small, concrete step you can take literally today to start implementing it? Even a tiny step.
That's the real question, isn't it? Food for thought.